Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters is right here. I am Mike Aletta, a.k.a. Hammonton Mike, with another divisional prediction special for you. Today we're going to take a look at the AFC South. What we're going to do, we're going to start from the bottom and work our way through the upwards of the division. We're going to give you some draft, how they did in the draft, a little bit on key components, key players, and we're going to also give you the schedule, what they look like. So starting at the fourth place team in this division is obviously going to be the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee made out good this year with the draft of Marcus Mariota. He's going to be a solid quarterback, just going to take some time, just like all rookies. He's going to be in there right away to start the season, which is fine as well. Some key components for the Tennessee Titans are, Mariota, obviously, Bishop Sankey at running back, Kendall Wright at wide receiver, Anthony Fasano coming over at tight end, I think should help them out a little bit, and Delaney Walker. So the tight end position, they're set and well off. I think it's going to help out Mariota. And also Harry Douglas coming over from Atlanta as a wide receiver as well. The defensive play of the ball, Brian Orakpo coming over from Washington with that big contract, should anchor the linebackers pretty well. Denarius Searcy at safety should, obviously anchor in that secondary, as young as secondary as they are. And Ryan Suckup, the kicker, coming over. Again, I talked in my last special about the kickers. It's going to be very interesting about the kickers this year because of the extra points that they've stretched out this year. So that's in that. They open up again at Tampa Bay, and they have a stretch at one time. Welcome to the league, Mariota. Indianapolis at home, Buffalo, and Miami. So it's going to be a tough task. And again, Tennessee got some good veterans, got a good mix of players. I still think they're young yet. I still think Mariota is going to take some lumps. I see Tennessee as 5-11 and fourth in this division. The third in the division, we're going to take a look at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Jacksonville, I think, is going to step up a little bit this year. Brian Bortles, good pick last year. Unfortunately, this year with the pick of Dante Fowler Jr., first preseason of the game, he has lost to an ACL injury. So, although T.J. Yeldon is going to be a good running back for them out of the University of Alabama. So they are going to help themselves in the draft. They would have had a perfect draft if it weren't for Fowler getting hurt. But unfortunately that happened. They have to move on without him. Offensive keys to Jacksonville, Brian Bortles, second-year player, definitely going to take a step up. T.J. Yeldon going to get in there at running back and get his shots. You also have Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns at wide receiver. The addition of Justin Thomas, or Julius Thomas, excuse me, at tight end with Mercedes Lewis at tight end. So, your offense, they're bolstering their offense, which is good. I like to see that. And you got Luke Joeckel at left tackle. I think that's going to help out in the protection of Brian Bortles. So, Jacksonville really did good in the offseason and in the draft. Excuse me. Defense, you got Paul Pozlowski at linebacker, which is going to be a good addition if he can stay healthy. Hopefully he can. Devin House at cornerback, and Roy Miller at defensive tackle. Some key components. Jacksonville, I wouldn't say is a young team. I wouldn't say they're an older team either. I'd say they're mid-pack, and they're finally starting to be able to get some veterans in there, which is good. And again, Brian Bortles, as he starts coming around a little bit, I think they're only going to get better. Their schedule, they open up against Carolina at home, which is definitely a winnable game for them. They do have a stretch where they go home at Miami, at New England, and at Indianapolis, which is going to be a tough stretch. But you know what? Jacksonville can only get better. I see Jacksonville third in this division at 7-9. It's a good mix for them. I think in the upcoming year, they make the playoffs. They're going to be getting better. They have another good draft like they did. Only can look up from here. We're going to look at the second team in the division. That's going to be the Houston Texans. Houston did themselves a favor in the offseason by drafting Kevin Johnson, cornerback from Wake Forest. I think he's a very solid player. And Houston's defense was good as it is. They're just bolstering it, which I think is good. Some key offensive players for them. In the offseason, Ryan Mallett and Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer got the job at quarterback, so I think they're set at quarterback for the upcoming seasons. Both young guys definitely can fit the scheme of Houston and be good players. Arian Foster, what can you say? Solid running back right there. And Alfred Blue backing him up. Nate Washington at wide receiver, and DeAndre Hopkins. Always two good fits at wide receiver. And keep an eye out for C.J. Fedorowicz from the tight end. I think he's gonna be a good fit there again with the loss of Owen Daniels. Owen Daniels. At the loss of tight end, who they had at tight end last year. It's escaping me at the moment. But I think he's going to be a good fit for them, and he can get some balls out in the flat for them. Excuse me. At defense, you're going to have J.J. Watt, obviously stud. Could be the MVP of the league. Who knows? He's just that good. Vincent Wilfork coming over from New England. That should be very interesting. Brian Cushing, at linebacker, back again off another injury. Quentin Demps. Javid Clowney, which is going to be interesting to see him in the mix this year. Last year he got hurt. We didn't get to see a lot of him, but I think he's going to anchor that linebacking core, so Houston's definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. The schedule pans out where they open up home against Kansas City. Then they are at Carolina, home against Tampa, and at Atlanta. Very winnable games. I see Houston number 2 in this division at 11-5. I just, is another tough division for them. I think they're going to make the playoffs, obviously. Maybe not as division winner, but a wild card. And that's what Houston's going to end up. And the number 1 team in this division, obviously, has got to be Indianapolis Colts. Drafted Philip Dorsett, wide receiver from Miami this year. Very solid pick. I think he's going to be a good pick, and he's even going to get a lot of work in there. Andrew Luck, what can you say? Great player. Really going to pick this team up. He only gets better as he keeps going on. Frank Gore, running back this year, going to be interesting as well, coming over from San Francisco. T.Y. Hilton, fresh off the big extension that Indianapolis had given him. Andre Johnson, coming over from Houston. I think it's going to be, maybe a good possession receiver. Maybe not the speedster that he once was, but definitely a good possession receiver for them with the loss of Reggie Wayne. Dwayne Allen and Kobe Fleener, I think, round out the tight end position, which are going to be solid positions for them. Todd Harriman's right guard coming over from the Philadelphia Eagles. Anchor that lineup a little bit, which they need to protect Andrew Luck a little bit more, which is great. Defensively, Trent Cole, again, coming over from the Eagles. Linebacker from the Eagles, I think, is going to give them a little bit of push on defense. DeQuell Jackson, linebacker. I think he's going to be good back there as well at linebacker. So they have 2 solid anchors at linebacker, and why not a third? Vontae Davis playing as well. I think he's going to add a little bit of depth to that defense as well. Young secondary, like what they're doing. Schedule at Buffalo, and hey, your number 1 team. You got to do what you got to do. They're going to have New England and Denver on the schedule, but you know what? It's okay, because I think Indianapolis could be one of the best teams in the league this year. I have them at 13-3 and winning that division, obviously, and actually going far in the playoffs. I mean, they could take a run at the Super Bowl. I mean, who knows? That's all the time we have for the AFC South today. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my other divisional specials, and remember, the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters. Well, it's right here. Thanks for watching. Take care.